This is the plaintiff, Tiara Blizzard. She says she bought a car from the defendant, who told her it was in great shape, and then 3 days later the engine seized up. He offered to take the car back and give her another, but before she agreed, she told him she wanted to take it to her mechanic. Her mechanic told her there were lots of problems with the second car too, so she asked for her money back. Obviously, he hasn't given it to her, so here they are. She's suing for $2,565, the amount owed. This is the defendant, Rick Petro. He says the plaintiff bought a 2000 Chevy Impala from him with only 60,000 miles on it. He recommended she get an oil change, took it to her mechanic, and the engine blew. He can't be responsible for work done on the car after he sold it, but he felt bad anyway and offered her another car. She refused his offer. Here they are. He's accused of unloading a clunker.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff bought a car from the defendant, a Chevy Impala, which, by the way, fell apart after 3 days. But the defendant says the Impala was in good shape and she probably just didn't change the oil. It's the case of you drive me crazy.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Tiara Blizzard, yes, great name. You are suing Rick Petro for $2,565 that you say he owes you in damages for selling you a lemon. Talk to me. Tell me what's going on.
I met the defendant on Craigslist, and I bought this car. He assured me that nothing was wrong with the car. He said it just needed an oil change. So I took the first.
What kind of car was it?
Chevy Impala.
What year?
2000 Chevy Impala.
Okay. Do you have it tested by a mechanic before you bought it?
No.
Okay. Go on.
So I gave him, he gave me the title or whatever. I got it registered.
How much did you pay for it?
$2,000.
Okay.
And
do you have a bill of sale?
I gave that in when I got it registered.
So there was a copy of the bill of sale?
I have evidence here, Your Honor.
You have what?
I have evidence as to what was the car sold for.
Yeah, bill of sale.
Yes.
Are you a car dealer?
No.
How many cars do you sell a year?
3.
What do you do for a living?
General contractor.
Sold 2000 Chevy Impala on June 1st.
Your Honor.
2013 for the price of $2,000 as is.
That was signed after I told the first car back to him.
Oh, there was no bill of sale then at the time of the sale?
Yes, I made a bill of sale for her to give to DMV.
So you don't have a copy?
No.
And you don't have a copy. Okay, so go on.
So
yeah, but it might be nice to keep a copy so I can see what your contract said, but go on.
Okay.
I'll fly without it.
So 3 days later, like I said, the engine seized. I got my mechanic on the phone with him, and he told him that the oil was leaking. This was a problem prior to when I got it.
How do you know?
Because the mechanic said he's seen old oil.
Do you have something from the mechanic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so go on.
So after I got the car towed back to Mr. Rick, he got me another car 2 weeks later, and I told him, I didn't speak to him, I spoke to his wife because he told me he was too tired to speak to me, which I say he has a glass house, so I see him in the house. So he
might be too tired to speak to you though.
Hey, so he got me this new car, and I went to the mechanic that same night, and he told me that I have a little paper written down of all the things that was wrong with it. It needed an air.
What year car was that?
That was in 99.
Oh.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And it was leaking antifreeze. It needed an AC compressor. It needed a water pump. And it needed an EGR valve.
Okay. So you drove the car back and you said, I don't want it.
I parked the car because the wife told me that they don't want me calling them that night. So I parked the car and I called him at 6 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning. And I told him, I don't want this car. It has so many problems. And he was like, we'll take care of it. And I have recordings of our conversation. I have about 5 conversations that we had with the defendant.
Okay, let me hear the recordings.
Is it possible that a 2000 Chevy Impala would not have problems?
No, I don't think so. That's an old car. I would say, you got to look it over before you buy it.
What do you think?
I would say you have to have someone look it over before you buy it.
Is it possible it wouldn't have problems? 2000 Chevy Impala.
I believe it would. I mean, it's a 2000. I mean, it's not like it's brand new.
It's not like it's brand new for sure, going inside the courtroom.
This is the one saying he's gonna give me back my money.
Yes, hello? I was trying to call you back. No, it's cool. Listen, look at this way. Either I can have it pay it down, or I'll just take the call back and give you back your money. Either or. And it can't be anytime soon because I'm not going to be around for a little bit. All right, Rick. Just give me a date and I won't call you till then. That's what I'm saying. Maybe the 7th or the 8th of July, okay? 7th or 8th of July. Okay, fine. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right, so she's painting a picture rather well of you saying that you're going to give her back her money. What happens here?
Okay, what happened was this. I tried to get the money together from the previous car because the money that she gave me with the $2,000, that didn't go to me. That again went to the person that I got the car from.
Are you jumping title? Like, how are you selling these cars? Is the title in your name?
No, they're not in my name.
It just gets signed over by whoever the other person was?
Yes, exactly.
And then you make a commission when you sell it?
I was made $200 on the Chevrolet.
But that's how it worked? You made a commission? Or
Yes.
you made a set fee for selling it?
No, $200.
How often do you do this? You say 3 times a year?
Yeah, 2-3 times a year. Whatever's in the neighborhood that people want to sell, they'll just give it to me. Like, Rick, can you try to sell this car for us?
Okay. So you went back to the other guy and said...
I need the money back to give back to this lady. They're like, I don't want to give her back any money.
Right. So, and your defense is?
My defense is, gave her a perfectly running car.
And she ruined
lives
it,
in-
and the other act was an act of kindness. And,
Yes.
Okay. That shouldn't be your defense. Your defense should be that it's a used car and it's sold as is. And certainly this thing that you signed says that. You say that you bought it 5 days before this was signed. But even when you don't write it down on a piece of paper, a used car sale, unless you can prove he's a dealer, which means that he sells a lot more than 3 a year. Can you prove it?
Well, I did a reverse address on him, and it did pop up that he had a body auto shop on his house property. I did a reverse
but that doesn't make him an auto dealer. That makes him a body. That means he might be running an illegal business out of his house, or it means he's running a body shop out of his house. That's not the same as a dealership that sells autos. People can lie and sell 10, 20 cars a year and then only tell me 3, and it's really hard for your side to prove otherwise. So there's no evidence he's a dealer. That means it's a regular person-to-person as-is sale, which means that on the Impala, right. He really didn't have to do anything.
But he did. He took it back.
Where's the Impala now?
Junkyard.
It's buyer beware in these situations. That's why what you did the second time is what you should have done the first time. You tell him, drive the car over to my mechanic, and then have the mechanic look at it before you buy it. But nobody does that because nobody wants to spend the $100 on the mechanic or whatever it costs. How much did it cost you for the 24-hour mechanic?
And it cost me $125.
Right. Nobody wants to spend the $125, so people don't do that. Instead, they end up buying a several $1,000 item and then being unhappy with it because there's too much work that needs to go into it. My hands are tied. There's nothing I can do for you. My verdict has to be for the defendant. It's a used car as is sale. That's the law.
And so the lesson is learned here on the People's Court yet again about what as is all about.
Yes.
Right? Did you know this before
No.
you filed this lawsuit?
No.
You know about as is?
No.
All right, well, you know what it is now. It's as is. Okay, so what should you have done?
Not deal with a private dealer. Go to a dealership.
Okay, and if you do buy in an as is situation, you have a mechanic look at it.
Look at it before you purchase it.
All right, so you've learned that lesson the hard way.
Thank you.
Okay, head right down this way. That's unfortunate for her. And what is it for you?
I'm very happy with the verdict.
Mm-hmm.
I did give her a replacement car after the initial car didn't work out for her. Apparently the second car didn't work out either, and I'm happy what the judge had to say for the ruling.
Put yourself in her shoes. How would you feel?
Well, I would have the car checked out prior, but I did know the car was in perfect running shape. Her mechanic had something to do with it with the oil change.
All right, over to Harvey.
Okay, so we're talking about an as-is sale here, which basically means you take your chances. However, there is one way of getting out of an as-is sale. If you can prove fraud, that somebody lied to you about something that was really material, then you can undo the sale. Otherwise, you're stuck.